Mystery fireball rattles American South. Massive fireball streaks across South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. On Thursday afternoon, a mysterious blazing fireball lit up the skies over a vast stretch of the southern United States, captivating residents across Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. The flaming object, visible from hundreds of miles, left a glowing trail as it streaked through the atmosphere before dramatically plunging toward the ground. Now let's unpack the layers of this story in our deep dive on the AI podcast.
Okay, let's get into this. Picture this. It's midday, Thursday, June 26th, and bang, the sky over parts of the American South just lights up. A huge fiery spectacle.
Yeah, people seeing this blazing fireball just ripping across the sky.
Exactly. And it wasn't just a sight, right? It caused shockwaves, literally. Homes rattling, windows shaking. And get this, a house actually got hit by something.
Incredible.
So today we're diving deep into this whole event, this mysterious object over Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. It went from this sort of sky mystery to a full-on scientific investigation really fast. And our mission for you is to break down what happened, why it happened, and why this event is actually pretty significant. We've got all the key info from the sources lined up.
It's fascinating stuff. Hundreds of people saw it just after noon. Described it as this blazing streak with a trailing exhaust plume. Hard to miss even in daylight.
Oh, totally. And the reaction was instant. Social media just exploded with videos, people reporting loud booms, rattling windows, some genuine panic for a bit there.
You can imagine. Initial thoughts were, well, maybe an explosion, a plane down.
Or a satellite,
Yeah.
It felt like something out of a movie, but then, like you said, science quickly took over.
Yeah.
It really shows that transition, doesn't it?
Right.
From sci-fi fear to scientific fact-finding.
It really does. And the impact wasn't just noise. Down in McDonough, Georgia, that's, about 30 miles south of Atlanta?
Yeah, around there.
A small object, but heavy, went right through a roof, even cracked the floor inside.
Wow, so law enforcement collected that piece. Must have been confusing at first. Meteor, space junk.
Definitely uncertain initially, and it wasn't just that one house. You had these rumbling noises reported all over. People thought maybe earthquake, maybe thunder.
Right, the National Weather Service in Atlanta confirmed they were getting swamped with calls about it. How do they even start sorting that out?
Well, that's where the experts come in. Took a few hours, but NASA came through with the official word.
Yeah.
It was a meteor. Bill Cook, he's the head of NASA's Meteoroid Environments Office down at Marshall Space Flight Center, confirmed it.
Okay, so a meteor. Do they get specifics? Size, speed?
Oh, yeah. About 3 feet wide, they reckon.
Yeah.
Weighed over a ton. And moving at 30,000 miles per hour.
30,000 miles per hour. Wow. That's what, over 8 miles a second? That's incredibly fast. Puts things in perspective when we talk about space objects.
Absolutely. And that speed means immense energy. They first tracked it 48 miles up over Oxford, Georgia.
Okay.
Then it started breaking apart around 27 miles above West Forest, Georgia. And the energy released in that fragmentation equivalent to about 20 tons of TNT.
20 tons of TNT from a 3-foot rock. That's kind of mind-blowing. Shows you the power involved.
Yeah.
How common is that kind of energy release so relatively low?
It's significant, definitely highlights how intense atmospheric entry is, and that energy release is key. That's what caused the booms everyone heard.
The sonic booms. Makes sense.
Exactly. A pressure wave slammed down to the ground. Cook called it a textbook daytime fireball event, said the shockwave shook buildings, startled people. Pretty classic case, scientifically speaking.
Okay, so NASA confirms meteor. But you mentioned earlier there was initial confusion, like maybe space junk.
Right, and Keith Stellman from the National Weather Service in Atlanta mentioned that uncertainty was why they got involved initially. Was it junk? Was it a satellite falling? For someone just seeing it, it's really hard to tell the difference on the fly, especially with everything going wild online.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's why guys like Mike Hankey from the American Meteor Society are important. He called it a daytime fireball, pointing out how bright it had to be seen so clearly during the day.
Daytime fireball, okay. And you mentioned terms earlier, meteor, meteoroid, meteorite.
Yeah,
Maybe a quick recap.
Good idea. So the meteoroid is the actual rock in space. The meteor is the streak of light you see when it burns up in the atmosphere, the fireball in this case. And if a piece survives and hits the ground, like the one that hit the house.
That's the meteorite. Got it.
Right. And Hankey's point was these fireballs can drop meteorites, but often they just burn up completely.
Okay. And Robert Lunsford, also from the American Meteor Society, he added some details.
Yeah, he gave some useful markers, said fireballs usually show up around 50 miles high and break apart around 25 miles up.
So that fits what NASA saw.
Pretty closely, yeah. And crucially, he said anything that does hit the ground is usually tiny, like pebble-sized.
So that piece that hit the house was maybe unusual in size, or maybe typical for this kind of larger fireball event.
Could be typical for this size of event, even if most meteorites are smaller overall. But Lunsford also gave a great way to tell meteors apart from other things.
Oh, yeah. That's that.
Speed. Meteors are incredibly fast. Think 15 to 50 miles per second. So if you see something bright streaking for, say, longer than 5 seconds, it's probably not a meteor.
Okay, so things like satellites re-entering, they're slower.
Much, much slower. That speed difference is a key clue.
And wasn't there some satellite data that actually confirmed it was a meteor?
Yes. Really cool piece of evidence. The National Weather Service office down in Charleston, they used a lightning detection satellite. Which sounds odd, but it works.
How so?
Well, between 11:51 and 11:56 a.m., it picked up this streak within cloud-free sky over Gasburg, Virginia. That's near the North Carolina border. Seeing that on the satellite data just added more weight to the natural high-velocity meteor explanation, multiple angles pointing to the same thing.
It's amazing how all these different pieces of tech and observation come together.
Absolutely. And this whole event, while dramatic, fits into a bigger picture. The European Space Agency estimates something like 40 to 100 tons of space material hits Earth every single day.
100 tons. Daily.
Yeah, but almost all of it is dust. Tiny particles. They burn up completely unnoticed way up high.
So this event on the 26th, it wasn't just any meteor.
Not at all. A daytime fireball this big, this loud, that's genuinely rare. For most people who saw it, it was probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It reminds us that while space interaction is constant, seeing something this dramatic is special.
Right, so we've kind of followed the journey here. From this shocking, fiery spectacle rattling homes to a confirmed meteor event explained by science.
We've touched on the power, the speed, how scientists tell meteors from space junk, and just how much stuff is actually up there.
It really does make you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about tons of space dust, but when a piece is big enough to punch through a roof, it makes it very real.
Exactly. Not just abstract anymore.
So what does that mean for us? Knowing our planet is constantly interacting with space, mostly quietly, but sometimes. Well, sometimes like June 26. How does an event like this change how you think about the sky above us? It's kind of profound when you consider, like the sources said, what happens when a space rock comes calling.
Do you think space agencies should publicize these events more actively to reduce panic and misinformation? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.